I just finished reading To the Guy in Apartment 5 by J.S. Cooper. Alright, it's really good because it's by J.S. Cooper. She's good all the time. Anyways, this story is about Magnolia and Jasper. Jasper moves in next door to Magnolia, and it starts off with him being annoying. So they never actually meet. They just pass notes back and forth on each other's door for like a good minute. Like for the first chapter, it's just them passing notes back and forth. And at some point, I'm like, girl, you're flirting with him. This is no longer leave me alone notes. I mean, she was still saying leave me alone, but the vibe I was getting, like, if you start arguing back and forth with your neighbor and through notes, and it starts to go on long enough, yeah, it's kind of banter now. You're kind of flirting now. But eventually she does actually see who Jasper is. He pops up at her door, and when he knocks on her door, it turns out that they have history. She knows him. So of course now she wants nothing to do with him. But this is a romance novel, so it's not going to go that way. It's a romance novel, so it's not going to go that way. And so, you know, he bothers her and tries to get involved in her life and all that stuff. And she's all, I want nothing to do with you. You know, she keeps saying that, like, it's never going to happen. But of course it does. And we do actually find out what their history is. We find out that, spoiler alert, because it's actually a pretty good twist. Like, if she wanted to write that story, I would have read that story. But what happened is that Jasper, so when they were younger, because this is 10 years, like when they meet each other again, it's been 10 years since they last saw each other. So what's going on is she snuck into Jasper's room to try to sleep with him, and her boyfriend walked in, and his girlfriend walked in, and her boyfriend was his brother, and his girlfriend was her sister. So messy. That shit was so messy, but I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. So really she didn't want nothing to do with Jasper because she was super embarrassed about what had happened. But girl, I'm just like, it was 10 years ago. It's okay. Your sister got over it. And we do find out that Jasper and her sister, whose name I believe is Daisy, Jasper and her sister were never really serious, because the sister was pretend dating Jasper to hide the older boyfriend she was sleeping with that should not have been sleeping with, which is another reason why if she wanted to write the prequel to this book, I'm down for it, because I need to know more about that sister and that older guy that she was sleeping with and got pregnant by and now's a deadbeat dad. I would love to know more about that. But anyway, anyways, we get through that, and then oh, you know, she starts a job in the book. First off, she has a blog in the book. And you would think that the blog was important, because in most books, if someone writes a blog, it becomes important some way somehow. But in this one, it actually was never important at all. It was just something she did. We read her post, but it wasn't like important to the story at all. And she also started a new job, Boss's Tate. You can tell by the introduction of the boss Tate and his assistant Jane and a few other members that, oh, we're gonna read more about these people. Like the Tate and Jane thing was pretty obvious. Like, you can pick that shit up, which I'm sure J.S. Cooper did on purpose, but still, you know that story's coming next. And we find out that Jagger is a silent investor in the company that Magnolia works for, and we find out that he set the whole shit up. Like, her sister called him one day, because I guess they still cool, and asked him for some money for Magnolia, because Magnolia was living in fucking San Francisco, expensive ass San Francisco, and she was struggling. And Jasper decided he was still in love with her and picked up everything and moved there and manipulated the situation to live next door to her, paid the guy who lived next door to her $50,000 to move so he could have the apartment, and then silently invested in the business with Tate, which he had already been kind of planning to do, but you know, he went ahead and did it. So Jasper kind of moved the pieces around so that he could be where Magnolia is. And that's cute on one hand. If he wasn't hot and rich, it would not have been cute, but there you go. And I will say it felt like there was no real tension in this book. It was just like, you know how you have a climax, most books have a climax part, or where something goes wrong and the couple breaks up. That's never really the case here, you know. They argued about when she found out that he was a silent investor in the business. They argued about it, but after that, it was just like, it was just an argument, moved on, which mature couples do who communicate do. But they moved on. It was all good. So I think the book was, it's a quick read. It's a quick read. It's not a whole lot going on. Maybe it could have been longer, but maybe not. If you just want something quick and fun and easy, this is it. It could have been longer for me. Hell, it could have been more dramatic for me, but this ain't that. So I'm not blaming her for writing that story, although I do want to read that story. Should the time arise, I would like to read that story. But anyways, all right, this is my quick review, guys. Okay, it's hard to find some privacy during this quarantine, so if you want to read Jazz Cooper, I say go for it. It was great. It was good. Okay, we're gonna take the great back. It was good. Okay, you're not gonna regret it. All right, bye.